Welcome back to the Ielts Face-Off Studio, and I'm so happy that we are actually able to begin our talk with Ambassador Sanh Châu. I think that's fantastic that you're here today with us. Thank you so much for being here.
Delighted to be here, and thank you very much for the invitation.
Yeah, with a lot of questions, and I'm very, very excited to be able to ask you that today.
Please go ahead.
One of the first things that we have received a lot from our audience is actually, what does it take to become a diplomat?
I think in order to be a good diplomat, that requires you a passion. You need to have love with the job, and then you need to develop your linguistic skill. You need to be able to speak different languages, at least more than one foreign language. And number 3, you need to have a good command of international relations, political science, international law, economics. So this is we call the basic knowledge, and then you need to develop or acquire soft skills like being able to talk to the public. So combine, you need to get all this in order to become a good diplomat.
You came from a family with
Yes, I do.
a tradition of diplomacy. Do you think family tradition helped you to become a better diplomat?
Oh, it does. I was born overseas. I traveled with my parents. I got exposed to that experience. I think that I grew with the job in the foreign service. And I don't know, I learned or I inherit a gene from my parents. So it does help.
You mentioned something about discipline.
Yes.
You were telling me discipline is extremely important in your job. What are some of basically the instances where you really had to actually challenge your discipline?
I consider the job of foreign service as a soldier at a peacetime. So like any soldier, you need to follow your superior command and instruction. So a sense of discipline is the most important in our career, because sometimes we have to act according to the instructions of the leaders, those who can see very well where lies the national interest. Because our job is to protect the national interest of Vietnam, the interest of the people, and the image of the country. And sometimes you are not in a position to see all these different interests, and our leaders, they look the interest of the country much better. So you need to follow that instruction. So I think that is very important for you. You have to loyal to your country. You have to loyal to the interest of your nation.
I think you mentioned something that is extremely valuable. You work for the benefit of the country, and of course the benefit of the nation and the benefit of the people has to be first.
Right.
And so have you, when you were working for the benefits of all of these people, made sacrifices in the past from your personal life and also from your family as well?
Oh yes, any job requires a different kind of sacrifice. But for foreign service, I think that there are a number of different kind of sacrifice that a diplomat has to make. You have to live away from your culture, your homeland, away from the one you love. And sometimes that happened to a lot of my friends and my colleagues. When their parents pass away, they are not there. So this is the most painful moment in your life, when your beloved one passes away and you're not able to attend the funeral, or you're not able to see them the last time before they die. That is very difficult. Or for your children, they keep changing their education environment, and they are not able to maintain a long-lasting friendship with their friends. And sometimes you cannot do what you really like. I think there's untold story of all these challenges, all this sacrifice that a foreign service.
I love the fact that you shared such an open idea of these sacrifices, because I also think, a lot of us young generation, when we think about, this foreign service, it still seems like something that's very glamorous. It's very idealistic.
It is sometimes, yes.
Yeah.
But not all the ways.
Yes. So what is your advice to some young people who are interested in foreign service?
The first thing I want to tell them that diplomacy is one of the most noble profession that I have known, being a lawyer, being a medical doctor, are all good. But being a foreign service officer is very important because you serve your own country. You need to protect the interest and the image of your country. You need to serve in the way that to ensure that this country, Vietnam in particular, be able to enjoy a sustainable environment which is safe, which is secure, needed for economic and social development of the country. Your mission is so important, and you feel that, okay, I love this job. I feel that I am inclined by the appealingness of this job, and I'm ready to be a disciplined soldier. I'm ready to learn and to acquire all the necessary knowledges needed to become a good diplomat in order to be able to serve our country best. And in that sense, I'm ready to give up some ego in myself and only be creative within the framework of the job. But for those who really want to be very creative, those who want to be themselves all the time, I don't think diplomacy is an appropriate job for them.
I think that's a fantastic advice. Diplomacy is a job with a lot of weight.
Yes.
It is a job with a lot of responsibility.
Yes, it does.
And I think it's a job with a lot of, I think, confidentiality to the safety of the nation.
Yes.
Do you believe in family legacy, and do you wish for your kids to also follow your path?
I believe that family value is the most important. Like any other parents, we would like to see a very good career life for my children. But I think I also want my children to keep the tradition that I follow the footsteps of my parents. I hope they will be able to do the same, but they are now adult and they can make their own decision.
Yes.
I can only advise, and until now, none of them joined the foreign service.
I see. I'm so happy that you give your children the flexibility and the freedom to also make their own decisions. And now you sitting here and sharing with me, I think it also feels like you have this openness to actually allowing them to do whatever they feel passionate about.
Correct.
Yeah.
The most important that you need to have a passion. If you don't have passion, no matter how hard you try, you will be not successful in your career. Because passion needs to come first.
Now that we're talking about passion, is passion a major part of your life motto? And what is your life motto?
It is a blessing to be born in life. So you need to find yourself a certain happiness or all the way happiness. Because without happiness, life will be very miserable. So for me, in order to be able to find yourself happy, you need to be useful every single moment.
I really love that advice. A lot of the times, us young people, we spend, probably 70 to 80% of the time thinking about, what's our day going to be? What are some of the things that we can do to make ourselves happy? But I think you mentioned something that is so important in the sense that with all of our thoughts, we should at least be spending a certain amount of our time, not just thinking about what we can do for the world because we are a part of it, but also how we can act to ensure that we can create change in the world at large. Given the fact that you've told me all of that, Mr. Ambassador, I'm also really, really interested, of course, along with our audience, to find out what are some of the most amazing things that Vietnamese people, as well as foreigners, need to try when they actually go to Vietnam. So, Mr. Ambassador, can you advise us? In terms of food, what is the one dish or multiple dishes that a foreigner or a Vietnamese person needs to try?
Vietnamese noodle pho, it's wonderful. You can eat at any time, and it is very popular. It is a genuine, authentic dish of Vietnam.
So what is the one place in Vietnam where a Vietnamese or a foreign person should visit, in your opinion?
It's very hard to say that one place, right? Because Vietnam has so many things to offer, and you cannot decline the temptation to go to these different places because everything has a different characteristic.
So I guess, a foreigner or a Vietnamese should just check them out all, because I do think Vietnam has multiple things, as you said, to offer.
Yes,
the land, the sea, the mountains,
and the people.
The people.
The most attractive things that Vietnam can offer is the people, the friendliness. Anywhere you travel, the people tend to be very friendly, hospitable.
think you just answered my last question, which was basically, what is the most amazing thing in your opinion about Vietnamese people? And hospitality
Hospitality
is your answer.
and forgiveness. When you are able to forgive, then it comes your hospitality. If you are not able to forgive for the suffering that other people inflicted on you, how can you be hospitable?
That, I think, is such a profound observation of our country. And I think it also explains many, many things that we have been able to achieve and to do throughout history. And especially in the recent history, where, I think Vietnam has definitely become one of the major tourist destinations in the world, and people love to come to Vietnam. It's a very profound observation to kind of connect forgiveness and hospitality together. I think that's beautiful. Thank you so much, Ambassador Sanh Châu, for actually
You're most
joining
welcome
us today. Yeah, and in Ielts Face Off, we'd like to introduce you to a lot of books that might make your studying or might make your life a little bit more meaningful. And today we're actually going to find out what our ambassador's favorite book is. So, Ambassador Sanh Châu, what is your favorite book?
One of the most favorite book that I love is the novel Gone with the Wind. I like Gone with the Wind because I started my reading with this book, but I like the Scarlett. And one of her characteristics I like most is that she's very stubborn and determined to go forward. Each time when I make difficulties and I feel a little bit stressful in life, I remember her saying, tomorrow will be another day. Today we may not succeed, but tomorrow we will succeed. So keep trying. That is the motto of the novel.
Well, thank you for that recommendation.